very much. I'm Angelica Daniels. I work in Frank Salzgeber's team at the Technology Transfer Program at ESA. Yeah, we're really looking forward for some crazy new ideas because the Technology Transfer Program, that's where you can pitch the crazy ideas at ESA, I would say. So my fellow judges at ESA are Piero Messina from headquarters, who you saw yesterday, who presented the Moon Village Challenge. Veronica La Regina from the TTPO, from the Technology Transfer Program, and Pierre-Philippe Mathieu, who was working in Esrin in Earth observation. So now, time to impress us, I would say.
Thank you. Yeah, so with that, I would like to welcome the first team on stage, Team Atlas, for your presentation. So, round of applause for Team Atlas. Good luck.
Okay, next week will be a launch of a tech demonstrator in Kiruna, S-Range. And on this tech demonstrator, I worked on during my last year in my master studies on the engine, and I worked actually on the hardware itself. So I gained experience working on this hardware that I can still use during my work now, being on launches. This experience I gained, I didn't learn that during the books with the theory. I gained it working actually on hardware. So our project that we will present to you today is solving this problem that students working, learning from theory, they don't really know how to work on the hardware. Companies getting these students working for them don't have the problem to integrate them. So we present this link to ensure and enable this connection between the companies and the people working there together as a laboratory where people from STEM can come to us, work on actual space hardware. We want to enable an international collaboration with agencies, with companies, where everybody from all over the world can come to us, work on these things. We will be able to train you to gain experience you can use during your work at the companies, and the companies can outsource their actual R&D facilities to come to us, to rent our facility, to do the projects there, and just do it for 2 weeks and don't have the facility to run all year long and pay for it. So what can we offer you? We can offer you highly experienced young professionals that you can directly train with your projects and then recruit them to your company afterwards. You can do newly technology developments, and we will have an outreach to the STEM sector, to the students, to give them the passion to join the space sector. What we ask you to support us is seed funding to enable us the network, to connect to the companies, to the agencies, to build actually this facility, to get the knowledge how to start such a facility, and to have the outreach to the STEM sector, as I said, to enable the future space engineers who might be able to solve the problems and build actually the technologies of your disruptive ideas that you might present today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Atlas. So now we have time for questions.
Veronica is saying, please, can you elaborate on the current problem solved by your ideas? So, yeah, what's the problem that you're facing or targeting?
So one problem is, as I said, as a student, you might not know where do I want to go in the space sector, where do I want to work? Everybody of us knows the problem. You're in the lectures, you're seeing all this theory, but what does the theory actually means? And that helped me a lot to work actually on an engine, to see how an engine works, and I found a passion there for me to work in launches. And also when you start working early before entering the company level, you already worked on it, it takes less time to implement your new core workers into the company.
Okay, so that means you would pretty much have older stuff in your test facility, but the students would be asked to create something new of it, but then that would reduce the cost if you...
No, the companies will they will pay an annual fee to rent the facility, and the company will come there and say, okay, we have this project, we already have done the study, and we want to do the test actually at your test facility, so we will rent the test facility, run maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, you will decide the time frame, and we do the mentoringship for the workers there, so you don't have to send all your workers there because they're expensive. Expensive, yes, and because maybe you just have people there to push the button to monitor it, but the actual information that you care about as a company, you will take it with you, and it's your knowledge property.
Okay, so what's the most innovative edge of your proposal?
The innovative is that nowadays most of the R&D facilities, they are hidden somewhere. Young professionals maybe don't know where to go. When you go to a company and you ask them, can I do an internship at your facility for 4 weeks? Well, usually you get the answer, no. So we will enable exactly this kind of field that young professionals can actually access these test facilities, work on it, and gain experience for the future.
Thank you very much, Team Atlas.
Thanks.
Great presentation. So, next team on stage is going to be Global Building Blocks, but before we let them present, we know it has been very intense 2 days, and we see like faces, people are tired, and like sitting through like 15 presentations is not the most exciting thing. So we're going to do a wave here in the audience, following some traditions, like I see some laughs here, you know what I mean. So we're going to start at this side. We're just going to go all the way to the other side in a very big wave and just release your energy. So to the count of 3, we're going to start at this side. So 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right. So Global Building Blocks, time to shine now. 3 minutes.
Fantastic. Thank you for that starter. How does it work? Okay, I would like you to think big, $1 trillion big. This here is an asteroid that they believe is worth $1 trillion out there. There is over 1 million asteroids out there. This is a huge market that we can tap into, and people are now. So, who's going there? First one, we've got prospectors, and we've got miners. Now, the prospectors are trying to send very small payloads out there to understand the asteroid itself. The miners want to dig it up and bring it back to a low Earth orbit. How can we help? Basically, in the gold rush, the people who made money were the people who owned the picks, or not owned the picks, but sold the picks, and the people who owned the trains and the tracks. We want to own the trains and the tracks. Basically, we want to be the UPS for space mining today. How are we going to do this? We would be, if you were a prospector today, you would come to us and say, I have a payload. And then in 1 year, we would get it to that asteroid for you. Of course, in the mining field as well, we would be the ones trying to lug all the mining ore to and from for the direction that you'd want as well. So we are a turnkey solution. And how would we do it? We would obviously be providing and getting all the services together, getting the spacecraft so we can actually move forward and do it as quickly as possible for these individuals. Now, I'd probably hear you saying, what's new? And that is the true question. And these are the 2 areas that are new. Firstly, we're going to actually dedicate spacecraft just for these prospectors out there. So we're going to make it clean and efficient and cheap. The second one is that a prospector actually doesn't make money off the iron ore itself. It makes money off the ability to know what's in there as well. And we want to bring this money that they make and put it into the pricing of the ticket, okay? And since we're the ones that are going to the asteroids, and since we're the ones that have the capability, we want to sell the potential of going there as well. So you can come to us earlier and say, we want to reserve a spot to this place, and this is an option for you. Now, you can access this option or not. It's up to you. But when you access it, then you pay the full price. If you don't, then you just let it go. Or you can sell it on a secondary market. So in the end, we will be basically establishing this market for the access to space. What we provide as a benefit is that all of these prospectors out there, they don't want to deal with being this, as you would if you were actually a supply company. You wouldn't want to be dealing with buying trucks and sending it down the roads. No, you want to give it to the UPS and lend it outwards. That's the same here as well. We would be providing the low-cost option for them. At the same time, we would be providing a lot of credibility, because once they buy with us, and we've already done it once or twice before, then for sure, it gives a lot of credibility to the prospectors out there as well. And it's a very cheap buy-in. What we would obviously be doing, we'd be staying ahead of the competition, because of course this can be set up as well without us, but the idea is that we get in fast and we go quickly. And since we're actually collecting money without having any capital on the ground, we will be the first ones to invest in the technology and actually move forward. So in 5 years' time, we'd be owning the key capital that's needed. So buy your ticket today.
Thank you very much. Very great presentation. So time for questions.
Okay. Can you elaborate on your market strategy to reach the key customers? Who is your key target customer set?
Well, one of our potential customers sits here in the room. So there are two big companies who are now looking into prospecting first. So those will be our first customers. Well, we'll see. It's projected to be a big market in the future. How many people are there right now? We don't exactly know.
Okay. Have you started a financial calculation? Do you know how you would price it?
It's an excellent question, and this is what we would like to develop further. So how do we price it? How do we have a calculation to back it up? No, we haven't done it in the last 20 hours, but this is, I think, next important step we would like to get involved in.
Okay, so, but what I didn't really get, do you do the mining, or the mining company is still doing the mining, but you're providing all the access to it? Is that correct?
The point is we want to buy off-the-shelf products, make the spacecraft, make the launch, so we're just a service provider. So we get the payload, we launch it, we send it to the asteroid. So we just buy off-the-shelf products, so it's we can calculate it.
Okay, and you say your spacecraft is cheaper because it's really only made for asteroid mining. You're not going to send up anything else in space on that spacecraft?
Really, the aspect is the prospectors are actually assuming there's a lot of money out there. So we can get the economies of scales already on the financing, because at the moment we just want someone who actually thinks this is a great idea and then starts moving out there. And they'd be willing to put the money down now, so we can already say to people, we've already got 10 spacecrafts ready. So we have the ability to invest early. So it's all about getting the access to money. So we want to sell the future now of the potential of being a trillionaire in the end.
Okay. And since you cannot establish property right now, how can you make it credible?
We want to figure that out with you guys in the next phase.
All right. Time's over for questions.